it's time to stop. What you're doing, it's 8 o'clock. Friday night pizza show is on tap. LFS 6B is where it's at. Whoa, oh. America's Voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, yeah, LFS 6B. Slick does sports and dresses to the nines. Big D loves when he says it's rodeo time. Delgado might wear the tinfoil hat, but we all love, what even is that? Aaron and Fran always holding it down. We look forward to another crazy town. Kevin Downey Jr. fills another seat. His sharp wit and wisdom can't be beat. America's Voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, LFS 6B. Big D looking good in his cowboy hat, always intrigued where David Sears at. Our main man Harry is certainly no slouch.
Harry,
come on,
get
Harry,
your fat ass out of the couch.
America's Voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Ooh yeah, LFS 6B. If you want some fun along with good insight, tune in 8 to 10 weeknights. Plenty of merchandise to be had. The odds makers reveal whose picks are bad. Oh, America's Voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, yeah, LFS 6B.
All right, all right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Sorry for the late start. Complicated business. What's going on? Those of you who are hanging around, good morning, everybody. YouTube, Facebook, X, Rumble, Getter, wherever you're watching. Good morning, good morning. Aloha, Sue. Woodrow, what's going on YouTube? What's going on? What's going on? Ghosty on X. Thank you very much. Lorraine on YouTube. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Drag Blacker says, if you don't hit the like button, Damon will send a hit squad after you at 2 a.m. with hammers, wearing the 2 a.m. Naked Hammer Fight Club shirt on sale at 6B store. That's right. That's exactly what I do. Moon Pie, very good. How are you? Good morning, everybody. If it's still morning for you. Again, sorry for the late start. Complicated business, as they say. Donna, good morning. Soon to be red state of North Carolina. David, good morning. 124%. So what's going on, everybody? I don't have a ton of stuff for you, as I was busy this morning, but I do want to take a couple. I do want to look at the absolute, utter meltdown that's going on. Due to last night's town hall. And I mean, I don't know. Again, I keep saying I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. Coming off of her, probably her own basket of deplorables moment, when the whatever you want to call them, she called them protesters, came to her rally and said Jesus is Lord, and she said, I think you're at the wrong rally, which I think you could equate to her own Clinton basket of deplorables moment. You look at those remarks, you look at her skipping the Al Smith dinner, and obviously an obvious annual Catholic charity event. She skips that. She sends in this ridiculous video. You have the governor of Michigan mocking communion. And coming off of that, they say, well, let's have her do a town hall. Where's the friendliest place we can go? Well, let's go to Anderson Cooper at CNN. And I'm thinking this morning, I wonder if Anderson Cooper is voting for Trump because he brutalized her last night. Maybe not on purpose, but he's a lot smarter than she is. And that's what ends up happening. I mean, her lack of common sense is astounding. It continues to astound literally every day. You attack the faith of probably 60, 70% of your wannabe voters. She struggles to put together complete sentences using verbs and nouns. She speaks like an elementary school student who didn't do his homework, who got called up in front of the class and has to talk about the book report, and she didn't read the book. If she doesn't have a teleprompter, she's completely lost. She comes across as arrogant, rude, dismissive of all people, especially those pro-lifers. And, you know, the thing about that people took away from that moment of, I think you're at the wrong rally, is that she didn't have a teleprompter in front of her. That was an immediate reaction from the heart. That's the first thing that she thought of. That's the first thing that came out. She didn't have time to think. She didn't have time to prepare. She didn't have time to recall some nonsense that some staffer told her. Her words of disdain emanated right from the heart, right from the soul, because that's what she believes. And that's what you get. When you get an immediate reaction like something like that and they say something, you can believe that's what they mean. That's what they feel. So here she is coming off just an absolutely horrendous week. And they figure, well, let's go ahead and send her over to CNN. Anderson Cooper. It was so bad. I don't even know where to start how bad it was. I guess we could start with someone who certainly is friendly to Kamala Harris. That would be Don Lemon. In his old place of work, he has some thoughts about what's going on.
I got to tell you that this election is unlike any other election, okay? This is not politics as usual. As we are finding out, as we're on the road, the people you think are going to vote for a certain candidate may not be, as evidence in this interview. Watch.
Your feelings, and let me start with the women here, about Kamala Harris.
She's a woman of color. I'm not putting her down because of that, and I'm not putting her down because she's a woman. I'm not a feminist, so I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, I don't think that she has the personality. I don't think that she has what it takes to go up against Putin and go up against these other presidents that are built for this. I don't want to be scared because my president is scared. I want my president to feel secure and manly and about it.
We brought up gender, right? Like, do you think it matters that she's a woman and people aren't comfortable having a woman in a top leadership role?
No, I don't think that, because most men, they love their mothers. They love their wives. So as a woman, most men, they respect the woman, but she just don't have the qualification or the education to really run America, because she don't have the experience.
Don doesn't know what to do.
She don't understand our struggles. And for me to believe you for another 4 years, you're crazy.
Right.
Like, you're crazy. You're saying the same thing that you said 4 years ago.
So the fact that she's the vice president
That's
to
just
you
the
is
bottom line.
You're like, you've been here, you've had a chance.
Yes. Well, for me, the very first time I ever heard the name Kamala Harris, it was in association to locking up parents for truancy. That was the first time I ever heard of her name. And I really didn't understand how this person claims to be a black woman, but yet she's locking up black women and black men and separating families.
This is a thing that is, Trump talks about this a lot. He says, you know, Kamala Harris became black
Right.
when it was convenient.
Right.
Yep.
Can you Can you talk to me about, do you agree with him on that? Do you feel like
absolutely.
she's wearing her blackness?
Absolutely. When she sworn to the Senate, it was as the first Indian American.
Thank you.
Which is, it's fine. We don't care.
We all know she's not black. Let's understand that. We are all clear of that. But my point of view, like I told you earlier, she's already been there. She's in office right now.
Wow. Well, there you go. What do you think? Let me know.
Oh, Donnie boy, what to do? Donnie boy doesn't know what to do. All right, so let's go through some of this absolute disaster last night. I don't even know where to start. It doesn't even matter. They're all so bad.
So I may not be quick to have the answer as soon as you ask it about a specific policy issue sometimes, because I'm going to want to research it.
Oh, yes. It's shocking to me that you can be in politics as long as she has been. You think about politicians. You think about ones who have been around a long time, who still mentally have it upstairs. So you got to take Biden out of it right now. But if you even take Biden, let's say 8 years ago, but you take Obama, you take Clinton, you take, Trump's really a separation all to himself. You take any politician who's been in politics at any level for a long time, most of them are pretty polished. Most of them are pretty comfortable speaking in public. Most of them can think on their feet, even if you don't agree with them. Most of them are pretty polished after 10 plus years doing this job. It's like sitting behind a microphone and talking for a couple hours. You know, it's like when you see Tucker go take the microphone at an event, or when you used to see Rush outside of the studio, or you see Levin outside of doing his show in the studio and going to CPAC or one of these places, when they take the stage, like, they're professional speakers. That's what they do. Like, they talk to people. They know how to engage. They know how to talk to people, to bring them in, to make them feel like they're connected. Like, when you do it all day, every day. When you're a politician, you're going to be a politician. Your job is to connect with voters, people. Your job is to know the substance. Your job is to be able to talk about the substance, answer questions. She is so incompetent here, 15 years into her, 20 years into her career. She doesn't have the ability to even think on her feet, talk on her feet, talk without a teleprompter, talk unprompted, talk spontaneously, answer questions. Like, even the answer to this question, what are your weaknesses and what would you do to overcome it? First thing she says is, I may not have the answer right away because I may need to go research it. Really? Shouldn't you have all the answers, or at least be able to talk about the topics this many years into being a politician?
So I may not be quick to have the answer as soon as you ask it about a...
Why? Why? J.D. Vance does. And he's just starting. He's got all the answers. He's taking questions from the press. Every one of these things, he ends his thing with questions from the press. Trump will take as many questions as you want to ask, any subjects you want to ask. He's only been doing this for 8 years. How is it you've been a politician your whole life and you can't even answer questions on a stage in a live event?
Specific policy issue sometimes, because I'm going to want to research it. I'm going to want to study it. I'm kind of a nerd sometimes, I confess. So I may not be quick to...
That's just, that is brutal. That is absolutely brutal.
The migrant population. Regarding the rapid increase in the migrant population, how will you ensure that every immigrant is integrated into American society safely? What benefits and subsidies will you provide them with, and how long will these benefits and subsidies last for an individual? Most importantly, will the American citizens' taxes pay for these benefits and subsidies? And if so, how much money will be allocated?
Well, thank you, Jackson. Let's start with this. America's immigration system is broken and it needs to be fixed. And it's been broken for a long time. And part of what we need to do is always prioritize what we need to do to strengthen our border. I will tell you, I'm the only person in this race among the two choices that voters have. I've personally prosecuted transnational criminal organizations in the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career making sure that our border is secure and that we do not allow criminals in and we don't allow that kind of trafficking to happen and come into our country. And as my opponent has proven himself, he would prefer to run on the problem instead of fix the problem.
That was her answer to that young man's question. I don't think she addressed one single thing that he asked, like not even close to one.
But I just called him. I needed that spiritual kind of connection. I needed that advice. I needed a prayer. And there's a part of the scripture that talks about Esther and a time such as this, and that's what we talked about. And it was very comforting for me. And
Do you pray every day?
I do pray every day. I do. Pray every day, sometimes twice a day. I grew up, so we grew up a little neighborhood church in Oakland, 23rd Avenue Church of God. And I was raised to believe in a loving God, to believe that your faith is a verb, you live your faith, and that the way that one should do that is that your work and your life's work should be to think about how you can serve in a way that is uplifting other people, that is about caring for other people. And that guides a lot of how I think about my work and what is important.
I don't want to get involved when someone says they pray every day. Everybody finds different ways that I guess maybe they do that or find some alone time or talk to whoever they're talking to about whatever. So I don't really want to, but she just doesn't sound like that answer doesn't sound as fluid as somebody who legitimately is pretty in touch with their faith and what it means in their life and how it guides them to whatever degree that is. That doesn't really come across as someone who's telling the truth. Like at all. I pray every day, sometimes twice a day. And then the word salad after that. Someone who prays twice a day, their initial response to someone yelling Jesus is Lord and Christ is King, I don't think would be, you're at the wrong rally. I mean, that's just my guess. I mean, J.D. Vance had somebody yell something like that at one of his things, and he immediately turned around and said, correct, Christ is King, and then went on. Like, it just seems to me that someone who actually you don't have to be the perfect, we all fall short. But someone who is at least in touch with their faith in some way, their first reaction would not be, you're at the wrong rally. I think you want to be at the smaller one down the street. What? That's your fate. That's your who'd you pray to who'd you pray to that day? Who gave you that response? Where did that response kind of where'd you gin that one up from? I wouldn't think that was ginned up from anything that you would have gotten or felt while praying to any God that I know. That certainly wouldn't be a response. I mean, so that's just, Here's the top 7 worst moments as put together by somebody.
What weaknesses do you bring to the table, and how do you plan to overcome them while you're in office?
That's a great question, Joe. Well, I am certainly not perfect, so let's start there. And I think that perhaps a weakness, some would say, but I actually think it's a strength, is I really do value having a team of very smart people around me who bring to my decision-making process different perspectives.
Now, who would say that that's a weakness? Any good leader wants smart people, if not smarter than them, people around them. That's a given. Donald Trump is the perfect example of that. We have heard from people who have been in the room with him that is one of his best strengths, is he'll take advice from everybody, knowing that he's the final decision maker. Doesn't make him the smartest guy in the room. As a matter of fact, acknowledging that you're not the smartest guy in the room is sometimes the way good leaders actually lead. They rely on the people smarter than them to hopefully get them to the best decision. In the end, they'll make the decision. Who thinks that's a weakness? I mean, this is another profoundly stupid answer.
My team will tell you I am constantly saying, let's kick the tire on that. Let's kick the tires on it.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life, or in your life in the last 4 years that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
You know, the other thing about these questions, like you could be running for dog catcher in your local town, and if you had to do an interview, these are questions that you should expect to come up. This is basic retail politics. Like, what's your strength? What's your weakness? What relationship in your life has meant the most to you? How has it helped? I mean, these are like college application level questions. And she always seems stunned when they're asked of her. It's like, how can you not expect these kind of questions? What's your biggest strength? What's your biggest weakness? Like, she always seems like she can't believe that this is what was just asked.
I mean, I've made many mistakes, and they range from, you know, if you've ever parented a child, you know, you make lots of mistakes.
She has no kids. Just side note, she doesn't have kids.
In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
So you've been in the White House for 4 years. You were vice president, not the president. But why wasn't any of that done for the last 4 years?
Well, there was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And I'm pointing out things that need to be done that haven't been done.
She's
but
looking around at the sign going, wait,
Thank you,
does that say
Eric,
Fox
you're
or
absolutely
CNN?
right. You know it. I know it. I think most Americans know it. Price of groceries is still too high. Well, I may not be quick to have the answer as soon as you ask it about a specific policy issue sometimes, because I'm going to want to research it. I'm going to want to study it. I'm kind of a nerd sometimes, I confess.
2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. It didn't stem the flow. Numbers kept going up. Finally, in 2024, just in June, 3 weeks before the first presidential debate with Joe Biden, you institute executive actions that had a dramatic impact, really shut down people crossing over. Why didn't your administration do that in 2022, 2023?
First of all, you're exactly right, Anderson. And as of today, we have cut the flow of immigration by over half. In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration
But if
is
it was
low.
that easy with that executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
Because we were working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem instead of a short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's the thing.
Of course.
Have to understand that ultimately this problem is going to be fixed through congressional action.
Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall. So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it?
Like, I love to see a crowd shot here because I don't think anyone else is laughing. The host is not laughing. I don't think the audience is laughing.
Come on, they didn't.
But you're agreeing to a
come
bill
on.
that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge.
This moment, actually, I don't even want to. I want to watch the actual real clip of this, and then we'll get to David Axelrod. This clip is stunning to me. This is one of those clips that you say, "Wait a minute, have I been living on the same planet for the last 4 years as this woman?"
I mean, you did raise your hand saying in a debate when asked if border crossing should be decriminalized, but obviously that is not your position.
I never intended, nor will I ever allow America to have a border that is not secure. I believe we.
I'm sorry. One more time.
Asked if border crossing should be decriminalized, but obviously that is not your position.
I never intended, nor will I ever allow America to have a border that is not secure.
Nor will I ever allow America to have a border that's unsecure. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know what. It's have I been living on a different planet and I just got dropped here? And this is not the person who I think it is that I've been watching have the absolute most unsecure border we've ever seen for 3.5 years? Flying people around the country, letting terrorists in across the border. I will never allow America to have a border that's unsecure.
Ever allow America to have a border that is not secure. I believe we need to deal with illegal immigration. There needs to be consequences, which is why.
There needs to be consequences? Catch and release? Is that a consequence?
Part of my plan that I have outlined, and again, please go to KamalaHarris.com. Sorry to throw a website on you, but why not? And you will see that part of my plan includes what we need to do to actually do more as it relates to putting resources in, including increasing penalties.
I mean,
I don't even know that clip is unbelievable to me. It literally is just one of those, like, I'm just going to say it right in your face, and what are you going to do about it? I mean, to hear those words come out of her mouth last night were absolutely stunning. By the way, if you have any...
With the Supreme Court being plagued with issues, would you be in favor of expanding the court to, say, 12, so each justice has only one circuit court other than Chief Justice to assist in making judgments more balanced?
Well, to your...
Balanced. Balanced is the word they want for the Supreme Court. Balanced. Equity. Balanced. Everybody needs to end in the same place.
Point, there is no question that the American people increasingly are losing confidence in the Supreme Court.
Well, that's a lie. Not for the reasons that she's saying. Not for the reasons that she's implying here. They're not.
And in large part because of the behavior of certain members of that court. And
behaviors of certain members of that court. What exactly does she mean? The ones that actually follow the Constitution? Is that the behavior she's talking about? The behavior of some of those in the Supreme Court. The ones who are not radical. The ones who are not politicizing it. Is that the ones she's more in favor of? The ones who actually read the text, don't believe it's living, breathing text, don't believe it changes over time, don't believe that, oh, this was written at a different time for different people in a different world that doesn't apply anymore? Is that what she's talking about? Is that why she wants to expand it to 12 and completely take the legitimacy of it away, pack it? 2 more states, Puerto Rico and D.C., 2 more senators. No matter how they say it, you cut through the BS, look through the lines. It's all about get rid of the filibuster, pack the Supreme Court, 2 more states, 2 more Dem senators, allow everyone over the border. They'll all vote for us. We'll own the courts. We'll own the culture. We own the language. We own the universities. Forever power, forever elections that will be decided in California and New York. That's the grand plan.
And because of certain rulings, including the Dobbs decision and taking away a precedent that had been in place for 50 years, protecting a woman's right to make decisions about her own body.
Now, Anderson Cooper would have been well to jump in there and say, just as a note, how do you explain, if that's what your reasoning is, how do you explain that since the Dobbs decision, nationwide, there's actually more abortions in this in the calendar years since the Dobbs decision? There's actually been an increase in the number of abortions than before, when it was before the Supreme Court sent it back to the states. But of course, he didn't do that. But those are the facts. Those are the facts. There are more abortions now than there were before the Dobbs decision.
So I do believe that there should be some kind of reform of the court, and we can study what that actually looks like.
Yes, exactly. There's the one time she was honest. There's the one time she was honest. Well, to say that this was an underwhelming performance for most.
Bipartisan bill. Let's just fix the problem.
Yes, let's just fix the problem. To say this was an underwhelming performance for many would be an understatement, including David Axelrod.
When she doesn't want to answer a question, her habit is to kind of go to word salad city, and she did that on a couple of answers. One was on Israel. Anderson asked a direct question: would you be stronger on Israel than Trump? And there was a 7-minute answer, but none of it related to the question he was asking.
And that happened all night long. So when you got David Axelrod saying you go to word salad city, probably hasn't been a great night for you. It really was an utter disaster. I mean, the wheels are falling off this train so fast. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. So, all right, folks, that's about it. Again, sorry for the late start. Let me just go through. Let me go back through the. Yes, an utter disaster, Carol. It was. I didn't even know she did a town hall. Yeah. Well, she took half the day off to prep for it, and that's what you got. I mean, she's just not a serious person at this point. She's just not a serious person. I mean, I think we're seeing every reason that she didn't make it to Iowa is now back full frontal, right in our face, and people are realizing it again. People are realizing it again. This is why she didn't get to Iowa. She's not that smart. Lynette on Facebook, thanks. Vicky, good to see you. Let's see if I missed anything. Ooh, I don't think so. I want to thank everybody for coming. Again, sorry for the non-streaming at night, but that's just unfortunately the way it's going to probably be between now. Although tonight, I suspect we will stream right at 8:00. We should have pretty much. We're kind of right in the middle of the two events. Trump will be in the late evening, one event, and then tonight in Las Vegas doesn't start till 10. So we'll actually bring you some of the pre-rally coverage in the 9:00 hour. Our guy, David Zier, I believe, is on the ground. So we'll probably talk to David, kind of set the tone for the rally tonight. But 8 to 9 should be a regular show. So we probably will stream tonight, starting at 8. And then we'll take you right through President Trump's speech tonight in Las Vegas. Yeah, and we'll take it from there, day by day, event by event. We'll see how it goes. We'll do the best we can to bring you as much content as possible. And that's about it. So thanks. Sorry for the late start today. Again, sorry for the late start. Thanks for hanging around. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate it. We'll be back on schedule tomorrow morning, 9:30, 10 o'clock, something around there. And then we'll see you tonight at 8. Kathy already voted. Yes, very good. Congratulations. Nice job. If you haven't voted early, do it. Do it. Do it. Yep. MAGA Square Garden on Sunday. MAGA Square Garden on Sunday. Yep. Have a good day, everybody. Rest of your day, and I'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock. All right. Thanks a lot. I'll see you tonight.